the minute?
I got it.
Okay.
All right. Second item, approval of minutes from September 24th, 2024. Did everybody get a chance to read them?
You haven't.
If so, can I get a motion to approve the minutes? Do I have a second?
Here, I can second
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? All right, minutes are approved as written, no corrections. All right, number 3, draft Saldo and zoning amendments. I guess the best way to approach this is really, first off, did everybody get a chance to read it? There's a lot there, 120.
Craig wants to do a summary of it all.
I think the best way to approach this is really go into the, not necessarily change of words from existing ordinances, but perhaps the rewriting of the whole paragraph and the additions, the major additions. What do you think, Greg?
Yeah,
Sort of an overview of why.
yeah, I'm gonna get into that, but as far as, we'll just I'll take comments. If there's areas where maybe we can't even agree on a solution, but we want to be looked at further. If there's a section, just identify it and staff will look at it. If it's simple stuff, misspelled words, or there's supposed to be a not and it's not there, or can or can't, we'll do that. But I, not the one that prepared both ordinances. Obviously, we were in charge of putting it all together, but some of the zoning, actually, Stephanie just pointed one out to me, in retaining walls and fences. That came from a prior zoning officer before David. We've had to check a list of ongoing items that we've taken out since the zoning officer come gone. So what I'll do is, if I can't answer the question, I'll go to the source and get that, and we'll definitely look into it, and I can report back. Where we're at in the process, this is the one and only chance to look at as far as the planning commission. Now, if there's some major changes coming from the county, or even tonight.
It's not in yet.
Yeah, we're in the county, so we're still waiting for that. Okay. So this is your first shot. If we make some major changes, we'll come back through everything again. They both have to be done at the same time because we're taking items out of zoning and putting them in Saldo. So we have to do them both. So if one comes back, we'll put them both on just for reapproval.
So what's coming out of zoning?
Whatever's if it's crossed out, it should be mainly the traffic study requirement is the big one. That was my recommendation on the traffic engineer, where we can't make any changes because of zoning. So I've skirted that for many, many years on if it meets industry standards for transportation, and it meets the intent of the ordinance. We work with all the traffic engineers, but this way just makes it easier. It makes it a waivable item. So that was the big thing as far as moving it. And then natural resources will be in both. We have given all the changes to the tree, woodlands, trees, landscaping. This way we can modify anything we want in Saldo. If it's a land development, they have to still waive it. If it's a single family lot, they still have to go through zoning. Unfortunately, there's nothing we can do with if they want.
It's not unfortunate.
Well, some board members felt it was.
Oh,
They
I see.
want.
Sure.
So not everybody's going to agree. I'm going to tell you right now,
Yeah,
there are
yeah,
different stuff.
yeah.
So some people want to have it more user friendly for the residents as well. But if they don't go through subdivision development, they can't. So just a little overview. I presented the natural resources landscaping and buffer section back in December of 2023 to the supervisors. Then I did a presentation for parking and traffic in February of 2024. Then when Dave Connery was still here, we presented on April 1st, 2024, the miscellaneous zoning updates. And that, again, wasn't just Dave, wasn't just us. I think some of the stuff went back to Devin and others where they just kind of kept the running list of things we need to look at. And then I did a presentation in August of 2024 on miscellaneous subdivision and development update for mainly technical, traffic, a lot of landscape in there as well. And then the last update was September 23rd, 2024. that came from EAC, who had the PEC evaluate our ordinances, and most of that related to stormwater and parking lot design. Again, these are just recommendations. If you want to comment, say, hey, I really don't like that section, or I think we should leave it as is, we'll document that, and then that'll go back to the board along with the EAC and the board's own comments, and we'll figure out. We'll have I think we're gonna have a work session meeting at some point where we go over everything at the board level. So if there's disagreement, if there's not a disagreement, it's ready to go. So if they're minor cleanups, then Scott and myself, so Scott will make the changes in the ordinances. And if they're minor, we don't need to go back through the process and we put on for board. So that's where you're at. So you have the zoning and the SALDO tonight on the agenda. So I have.
So can I ask a question?
Sure.
On the very first, well, page 5, under section 27-201 land development,
You're in SALDO then?
I guess. Yeah, it's got Brent writing.
Which one?
The other one's Brent, so.
Okay.
Yeah, so it says, like, the addition of an accessory building, including farm buildings, subordinate to the existing, blah, 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 are excluded from the land development. Does that mean like accessory dwelling units? If somebody was to put something in for, you know, an older family member? I was just curious, because they're,
That's per the MPC, so.
Separate, not
which it says
a
accessory.
building, it's a big building.
Right.
Those are separate buildings. You're talking about.
Farm building, there's updates to
No,
the
no,
farm
no, they're
buildings.
not. They're usually separate. They're called accessory dwelling units and they're often for.
What's your specific question on,
I just was curious if that meant people could put like an ADU in on their property,
put a what on?
an ADU, an accessory dwelling unit. People put them in, they're like little tiny houses they put in for an older family.
If it's permitted by zoning, yes. But typically, it have to be for like an in-law suite or something. You can't have two, you can have two primary dwelling units.
And that's
in
zoning,
your
right? You
township.
there's zoning for that?
Yes.
Okay.
I'll look into the accessory building part. I thought that was only related to farm buildings and an update to the NPC, but
Well, I didn't know, because it said,
That's actually,
oh, I'm
that's
sorry.
okay, yeah, you say it's
Yeah,
section.
Yes. Because it said the addition of an accessory building, including farm buildings. But I didn't know if that meant like another living unit.
well, I'm not sure why that probably came from zoning. You don't have to go through land development if you're doing accessory structure. So we have a requirement for that. Farm buildings and farming in general have always been, that there's only certain requirements they have to do. We have that a little bit here in this township. But no, you can't have two dwelling units on one lot. You can have an accessory dwelling unit for an in-law suite or something like that.
But this is all grandfathered in, right?
If it's existing.
Ah,
there
it's
already.
existing,
Yeah.
right? Yes.
Question, while we're talking about agricultural buildings, is there, any reason you cannot do a, shed with a green roof?
Ken?
I mean, there's nothing, no code that would stop me from putting.
No, I mean, once you get building code,
That's- oh,
that
okay,
goes
that's
to
a
building.
different- sorry, yes.
But I don't think he would improve it as long as it met the building code requirement.
Okay, thanks.
And I know that's larger structure have that, so
Okay, yeah.
there's nothing prohibiting it.
Sure, yeah, okay, okay. What is, 2% salt tolerant vegetation? Where are you?
Yeah, you're gonna have to,
Oh,
Give me a page number.
61. No, it's like solvent by then, by 61, you're solvent, I think.
Every number.
45.
Oh, well, now I'm on the PDF.
Why don't you
Oh,
go- it
the
can
packet.
scroll
What's down
down.
at the bottom?
There should be a page number.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, sorry.
That's just a page of it.
Yeah. That's the page at the top.
You go to.
Yeah, that's
Very
good.
long.
All right, it's page number 18.
18.
Maybe.
Okay.
Maybe.
Now we're with you, Darryl.
Maybe, I'm looking for it here. No. 3%, 4%, no.
Eighteen from Saldo or so?
61, 120, I mean, this is 123 pages, this, PDF. And, I would say 61, well, anyway, you don't know what that is, right? 2%.
Oh, here it is. Well, that's because it's, okay, I was looking at streets, I'm like, why would that be streets? It's in the cul-de-sac area. So if no curb is proposed, so the runoff would go into the, so it wouldn't go in the storm sewer. It would go in. That way, the runoff is going from the street, the salt from, take care of the roads from ice or snowstorms. That's, they'll need to be at minimum to be able to handle the salt.
What's 2% salt tolerant vegetation?
That's, I'm not asking for it.
Oh,
That means they can't just have a normal plant, you have, because it's salt runoff, it kill normal.
are you kidding me, salt runoff? You should come see what, never mind.
See, this is where I should have on every comment where it came from, so you can attack
Yeah.
that. Because that can easily be from the EAC.
Okay. Well, that's fine, as long as there's such a thing, I guess.
Yes.
And, let's see, back at 38, I'll tell you what number that was. It had to do with that chart of, in, the code, which is, I guess it's page 27, attachment to right before the zoning map. And it's the, what's permitted in the zoning districts.
Okay,
I was just curious about, you have residential solar energy. And a change is put Y slash, special, as a special exception. Yes, special exception.
You guys like our
Page 30.
I didn't get that. There's no zoning map.
yeah.
And the actual map isn't attached. So
It's a New Britain Code land use chart.
Oh, that chart, yeah, I know what chart you're talking about. I don't have that.
is that part of the,
It's.
what page in the PDF?
38.
38.
Okay,
Let me see.
I just.
okay, which one?
Residential solar energy. Yes, slash, oh, a Y, I assume means yes, slash SE, what's a yes?
Special exception.
I know, but
But
in
that
other,
goes
in
on-
all other,
that goes on.
but in all other cases, I understand that, in all other cases, it says just SE or Y. This says Y slash SE.
So that's all zoning, I didn't change that. I'm assuming that is if it's the primary use or an accessory use.
Residential solar energy.
Okay, so it has to be
So
accessory.
yes, our special exception, SR1, SR2.
I might have been crossing it out. I'll check.
Okay, that would be good.
That
If
may
it's
have
not-
been from,
if it's just
they want to
cross-
cross out.
Okay.
and go to-
Okay, good, so just note that that's, kind of was assuming that, but that was like, okay.
I agree. Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
because everybody else is just, every other section is one or the other.
Mhm.
Yeah.
and then, the only other issue I really have substantively is, with regards to sketch plans. And, sketch plans going first to the Board of Supervisors.
So doesn't it say planning commission or board of supervisors?
And I think PC is crossed out.
What
Or
page?
maybe it does, but
What page is it?
it adds, oh, I don't know. So. I wrote it down. I think it was crossed out, and it comes to the planning commission, but I'm not. I'm gonna have to search here.
I have it. I don't know what page it is on what you're looking at.
What,
It's section 224024.
give a page number on it?
It's 4, but I think this is the packet we got at the supervisors meeting, which is, might be different from what you
Yeah.
have.
Well, anyway, here's my thing. It really did eliminate planning commission from the sketch plan thing. And it also required.
It says planning commission or
Board
board
of
of supervisors. Doesn't cross out.
So what we're doing now in certain projects,
Mhm.
we weren't following the current ordinance because sometimes they're really unique projects that actually do go to the board first. And that's to cover ourselves. They're doing that now.
So I would like inserted in there that the planning commission be notified of sketch plans which go to the board of supervisors. Be notified a week in
You
advance.
want to put something in your own ordinance to tell someone in your township
Yep.
to do something?
Yep.
I'll check on that.
So this was in the Southwest one?
Or board policy, other board
Well, that's what it
policies.
says.
I think.
No board policies?
I think what Debbie's trying
No,
to
they don't.
cover is what's the purpose of the planning commission if it's gonna go
Yeah.
to the final
Well, I'll tell you,
voice of authority first.
because they evaluate zoning hearing board decisions, and some people call them sketch plans. I don't really care either way, you can take
Right,
it out,
right.
but there's a lot of sketch plans that go, that are attached to zoning hearing board. To me, that just provides coverage in case anybody challenges it, not only internally, but externally. And that happens quite a bit.
And that's fine, I'm just saying notify planning commission to attend, we could then know that it's coming up and we would.
But this is an
attend
ordinance
the
requirement for
supervisor.
the developer and applicant, it's
I
not.
understand. I understand.
You're asking for an internal policy.
Yeah.
That,
So that should be directed to that guy over there.
Policies?
Not that I'm aware.
Yeah, right, okay, no board policies.
I mean, it would be nice for
I
us
mean,
to
it's-
know.
Yeah.
That,
it's always published, obviously published on the public agenda, but you're asking for notification
So
separate.
Dave wasn't sending out when a new application came in, because I know Janine's phone, you wouldn't get that?
we were getting a copy of everything. And then it all stopped.
Oh, okay.
We were getting zoning.
We were getting
notices,
single,
here,
we were
notices.
getting single lots, we were getting, when I think it stopped after, who was before Dave?
Kelsey.
Kelsey.
So,
Down drain. or like that coming out. Yeah.
Ryan was here.
Where was this verbiage that you said?
I don't, that's not my call, but we should see, you should be aware of stuff that's coming in.
Planning commission.
Yeah, that's all we're saying. It's like, it'd be nice to just know what's going on, either it's, forwarded or declined.
Cody forwarded.
In other words, if the developer comes in at a staff meeting or even at supervisor's meeting and says, I want to do this, and the township shoots it down, it would have been nice for us to know what could have been, or,
Well, if it goes to the board of supervisors, it's not gonna come to us as a sketch plan.
Right.
I mean, it doesn't make logical sense that it would. And the whole thing about sketch plans is that we get to work with people in advance of it being engineered for the preliminary plan. And so this just makes it like it's not gonna happen, I think. I saw the addition of the board of supervisors as saying, forget the planning commission, we're just gonna do it. So,
Noted.
so
I'll
maybe
bring
we
that back
can
to
be
the
more
board.
inclusive in
Thank
the
you.
process, that's all.
yeah, thank you.
Absolutely.
Notification requirements regarding sketch plans, where it says that sketch plan, if submitted and preliminary plan notifies surrounding property owners for minor subdivision. It changed the distance from 1,000 feet to 500.
So I went the other way.
Well, the 1,000 is crossed out. Yeah, how come? I was curious. I think 500 is too short.
Yeah, I thought there was a recommendation, but where,
It's on page 4 of the south of, under
okay. So, um,
22-4.
so that was a recommendation originally, in fact, I want to keep from here, but maybe not. For the 1,000.
It was almost 1,000.
It wasn't that.
We know 500 right now.
It is 500 right now?
Yeah.
So why does that change? Oh, but it should.
It should match zoning.
Right.
And
Oh, I
people want to
see.
go to 1,000, I thought it was actually. I was
Yeah.
gonna put the finger, I thought you pushed that.
1,000 becomes problematic.
And that's, and so you gotta remember, we got the solicitor involved there, and that's where.
Yeah.
If we had 1,000 there, see, 1,000's crossed out, because I think it was in there. And then we got advised to match the zoning.
And zoning says 500.
Yeah.
Zoning's
So I know
500.
that's 500, yes, but I didn't have a problem with it, to be honest with you.
I think what you were asking to add the sketch plan as a notification.
And we did that.
And that's.
No, maybe that's, yeah, we did that. I thought that was great.
No, that's good.
Yeah, maybe that's what Teresa was pushing.
Mhm.
But it was advised to keep it the same because 500, the difference doesn't make sense now.
No,
We can't change, if zoning changes, we can always go back and change it to a greater distance.
it was not in the zoning stuff we saw.
No, you know what? Stephanie's right. You mentioned about notifying, and I like that, getting people at sketch plan, level,
Absolutely,
get input
100%.
and give it their feedback. So I apologize, it was that, not.
No, just because I mean, it just pisses
But I
the
don't think, that-
public off.
well,
I think
it makes it very
that's-
difficult when we go through and no one's here for sketch plan. We go, then they go do the hard engineering,
Yeah.
and I got all this feedback,
And
and they're resistant now. to
then it
make
comes to planner
changes.
commission.
Yeah, now we're fighting.
Right. No, of course, but I mean, that's the problem. The public doesn't know. And then by the time they
Yeah.
find out, they're already invested
Yeah.
in their engineering, they're.
And I think the public is more likely to participate when they know it's coming.
Yeah.
And if everything's ready, I think that's a great move.
Another thing now is, because of that, even with the notification that we do here, I'm encouraging so far, the developers are going where they meet with the neighbors. Even on that 4-lot subdivision, WB Homes, they already met with the neighbors. And neighbors call and I'll ask one question, and then, you know, they don't even show up because they're happy with, they've seen the plan, they've been met with.
That was our last September meeting, and
Yeah.
everything was
And
on
it went really smooth.
so it was smooth.
Yeah.
And the neighbors felt like they were involved in it.
All right.
I think it should be 1,000 feet, so maybe the zoning needs to get changed to 1,000. Well, there's something, this is changing, so why not just choose that? That 1,000 is better. Like that,
Yeah.
Not even.
Not bad.
Jim, you come across anything?
So one, kind of jump in, one Jim's. One big change that you might not notice, but it was, pushed pretty hard. Couple board members in the AC, and the PEC recommended we have no more fee in lieu ofs.
So,
So, except for park and recreation, which is an NPC. But that's why the woodlands and natural resources are in Saldo and other reasons. It's very strict. So if a better design can be achieved by disturbing 61%, they need approval from planning commission, the board to do that. And then any conditions can be attached, not just pay a fee. So.
Okay, so it's kind of like.
So you can't
special
just,
exception.
you can't just walk in and say, hey, I'd like to disturb this much, pay a fee. They felt the developers were getting away with it.
Good.
So that's taken out throughout.
When you're talking about the
I don't know why I'm.
tree protection zone, I know, tree, no, I am the tree, the tree protection zone.
You're not.
Wait, and it talks about the aggregate. Are you talking, so aggregate, that doesn't mean, you add up all the tree protection, then you go that far from the border. You're just saying it all over.
The whole site.
The drip lines don't just like have holes between them, it's the whole site.
Well, if there's holes, it still counts as.
Yeah, that's it, that's the aggregate, it's
Yeah.
like the outside.
That hasn't changed, but that's pretty.
Yeah.
pretty standard, so.
What is the ultimate right of way? Like how many feet is that? I was just gonna.
Each street's different, each classification of street's different, local.
Really?
One's different, so like a local street would be 50 feet total width is the ultimate right of way.
Does that mean from where the pavement ends?
So, no, so go,
Oh, from the center line?
this is dangerous, but in theory, it's supposed to be from the center line of the road, out
Okay.
25 and out 25, you get 50.
Okay.
But a lot of roads have migrated.
Exactly. Around here, it's a little different, uniform roads. And then it may be 60 feet for a minor collector, a major collector. It could be up to 80 feet for Butler Avenue or 313 or County Line Road. So it varies. But that establishes then the setbacks for the buildings is all for the alternate right away. So right now, I think 33 feet is the standard in Pennsylvania. So we require usually standard minimum is 50 feet. But it's not always measured from the center of the, again, the road deals.
No, just your email.
What is a lane lot?
A lane lot,
A lane lot, yeah, on
That's-
page 800.
so that's where,
That's the old flag lot.
that's the flag
Oh,
lot,
is that
lane
what that
lot, yeah, where it's very narrow
Okay,
at the right of way and then opens up into a larger lot. You have a lot around. Just a bunch of. They actually have been challenged in court. I've been part of one that we settled out of court. You have, I don't know, 10 acres or 5 now? Yeah,
what, you
So-
have to have a lane lot?
yeah, it can't be out. So other townships still have outrageous numbers too, that they don't want the lake lots, 5 lots, so they have been challenged.
Oh, they've got in Curly Hill. They put one
Yeah.
in, right?
Yes, he was challenged, Northampton Township had one. Warminster, we settled out for, I don't know if Northampton got settled or not, but you can't, if the minimum lot area is 1 acre and you can't have 5 to 10, it's, maybe 2 or 3 at most. It's a gray area, because why do you need that many acres? You do have a lot of existing ones here. It's just a flag lot. It's a flag.
So there's a minimum in different townships saying you need at least 5 or 10 acres to.
Yes.
But what he's saying is
But
whatever the
developer-
zoning is
Yeah,
pretty much
whatever
what
the
they're
zoning
gonna win.
Right.
Big challenge.
Right, if they challenge it, they're probably not gonna.
Correct.
Because it's so arbitrary.
Correct. One case is, they went in one township. They'll challenge it everywhere.
Question on manufactured homes versus mobile homes. I get it, but isn't there a legal requirement to have a mobile home district?
It's the same thing,
It's different.
just a different name.
But it's discussed in the definition that you have to be able to pull it away. And that's-
There's a definite difference between that.
Yeah, definitely difference, and I don't think you can
Not
pull
per
away. a
former
man-
supervisor.
Mobile
that was here.
has tires.
I understand,
Mobile home is mobile.
yeah.
It can be picked up. I mean, the
Right.
frame is still
These
underneath there.
manufactured homes
The
that are
axles
coming
may
in.
be-
Manufacturer's home is built on cinder block.
Are you talking about prefab?
Prefab is a manufacturer.
How about
Mobile
the
home
ones that are
It
different?
still has the frame underneath.
Okay.
You can remove the axles, but still technically mobile home.
The ones that are gonna go in.
And there's motor vehicle registration versus title.
Is it HUD, it looks on differently? I mean,
Well, it's a vehicle.
Total different.
It's got vehicle
So
registration.
my question is on the zoning classification, do we still have a mobile home zoning classification?
Yes.
There should be.
And it's gonna have manufactured homes in it, not mobile homes?
Most-
Okay,
Most of the ones around here are transitioning from mobile home parks to
Which is no longer low-income housing, for sure. Relatively low.
Right.
You're gonna have, the engineer called Gene, you're gonna have the one up in, what do they call it, Kalina, the one that's by the lake.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Yeah, they're getting ready to try to come in again.
I know, because they got water now.
Yes.
That's good.
What, they want to make them permanent homes?
Oh, they're-
It'll be manufactured.
Yeah, I'm gonna buy it. 55 bucks.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Sweet.
Our parks, what, our parks, are they, what's the zoning classification of our parks? Like, let's say, like a food truck, right? Food trucks are not permitted in residential areas.
Except an ice cream truck. Where
I
did
thought
I
they were in
read
school
something
together.
about an
It's
ice
just,
cream?
I thought it
Yeah.
was gonna be tough, but this is tough.
Because they're allowed to go.
Because an ice cream truck's different.
No,
I'm
because
sorry.
we're starting, the Veterans Committee and all that, we're starting a lot of soliciting some food trucks for our events. Like, we had a food truck in the shopping center close to a restaurant
Mm.
for the Senate House.
We did, you're right.
But they weren't happy.
That got
Well,
We're
the
gonna have a
shopping
food
center
truck.
owner
We're gonna have-
permitted it.
We're gonna have a food truck here for Easter egg hunt. It's gonna be in a touching, abutting a residential district. What's the purpose of that change or addition?
Where is that at?
I saw
That's
it
definitely
too. I
not
don't
me.
know where it is, but I saw it.
That came from Zoom.
Yeah,
I don't
that's
do it.
definitely.
Page 11.
In the zoning part?
And actual page 6, PDF page 11.
Oh,
That was when you just said, Stephanie just asked about that.
That was one of
That
those
came
I
from-
flagged.
That came from one of your zoning officers. I'd have to look into that.
Trucks are excluded. Mobile
It's
banking.
500 feet of existing restaurants and retail. If you place one at the New Britain Shopping Center, you're definitely within.
Well, Santa House is moving.
Well, we're gonna give it a try this year.
Yes.
Park, yeah.
So that's, I wasn't, that came from zoning, but it's saying a temporary, it's defining what a
It says
temporary.
mobile vending shall be permitted within non-residential zoning districts only.
Requiring a permit, because
Right.
that's the big movement
So you-
now. So,
You
what's
wouldn't
your-
have a party, have a food truck park in front of your house.
you can't?
What's that?
Without permit. You can't.
No,
Yeah.
can't. Wait a second.
Where's the ice cream? It's regulation.
Your page.
And that's just a question that, how did we run into a problem somewhere or?
almost everything in zoning, yeah, there was a problem, and that's why it's in there.
Again, the reason we're asking is because we're trying to do a lot more with food trucks. It seems to be pretty popular for the events.
Yeah, so here's where we need to go. So if the planning commission wants to change that section to say, no, we should allow it in residential districts, then that's your comment, like. But we don't,
That's not what you're suggesting.
I'm not saying I agree, I'm just saying, like, we have to be more concrete on what you want to change. Or at least look into it with Janine and look through the zoning comments from Dave and prior, you know, Kelsey and whatnot, see where that came from. But yes, if you can't do it in residential, then you need a permit now to do it.
How about watershed?
Get you in
That
the
is
water.
residential.
Oh, no, I know,
That's-
just.
It's only permitted in non-residential zoning districts.
You can actually.
But what
put-
about
you can actually put a church in
agri-entertainment?
the watershed.
I'm gonna start a vineyard and start
You
having.
can actually build a church in the watershed district.
There's allowance for churches and all
Well,
that.
that's good.
Mhm.
Nothing
Cemetery.
wrong with churches.
Anybody else?
Well, I think you
Yeah.
should be able to have a food truck in residential for a single event. I'm not, you know, you should be able to apply for a permit and get it.
A party and.
Yeah. I've done it many times. Pizza truck.
Stop it.
We've got the bar, the knee bar, the bar comes. It's a horse truck, but it's a bar. It's so good.
Yes.
I've seen that at events.
Yeah, it's great. So yeah. That's not good.
So look, I'm not preparing to do this, but I'm sorry that.
So,
Go
I'm
ahead.
sorry.
No,
I'm
I'm
sorry.
sorry. I'm changing the subject. So.
Well, I'll get in trouble here, but it says for a temporary community event it has a definition. So again, this is saying what you need a permit for. So if you're not at a flea market, public exhibitions, auctions, carnivals, circus, what's it, picnics?
Picnics.
Never mind.
The community event
Okay,
versus
so,
a personal family event.
correct. So you gotta be careful. Sometimes you're looking at, it doesn't say you can't. It says if you're doing in a non-residential area and you're having some type of community event, then you need to get a permit. Now, I'm not a zoning officer. They may look at that as if it's in the residential, and you're having a picnic, that you don't need a permit for it. Because it doesn't say you can't, right? Now, I do see picnics, so maybe that, because circuses, picnics and air shows, what doesn't belong?
But that's community event versus.
But-
Right, that,
Correct.
this,
And-
this
and-
section is
And it's
about
under
community
community, and
events.
that's where we get in
Yeah.
trouble, where you look at just,
Yeah.
this is a problem piecemeal in these ordinances. You're looking at one little snapshot.
Out of the
So I
section.
think to me, you're fine, you don't need a
Yeah.
permit.
If you had a food truck in a residential location.
But if you had a community, yes, but if you had a community picnic,
Mhm.
If you're having a neighborhood block party,
Yeah.
that's different.
I would say that's where that would. come in.
Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause that's not
I'll
open to the public.
I'll talk to Janine.
Just,
Just make sure. that's it.
you know,
Until everybody else walks in.
yeah, no, I don't want those shows. Chase them out. You don't belong.
Page 16, PDF, page 16, page 11. This is my question. Any trees that are dead, dying, or deceased?
Yeah.
My question to you is, do we have some sort of ordinance that, obviously there's trees over power lines on some of these side streets. It's just a matter of time before they
Like
fall
Walker's
apart.
Road.
It's like Walker's Road. And there's branches that fall,
That's, you're in the ultimate right away.
they hit the street.
That's the public works, it's different. You're in the right away.
And Pico will take those they'll take those branches down when they do their normal tree trim.
This is for this is for on your.
Anything above a Pico line, they're permitted to take down.
I mean, even if they're not directly on the Pico line, they fall on the streets and stuff,
Yeah.
the dead branches over these smaller roads.
This isn't for that.
No,
No,
it's bringing me to that
Oh, okay,
question.
okay.
It's bringing me to that question. Do we have anything?
Mhm.
Is this?
Notify the township and then
Yeah.
Public Works figures out its responsibility.
And- we get what we can.
We get that quite a bit, actually. That's very.
So but the cable companies don't care.
No, they don't.
They will not do it until it takes them.
Well, not only do we
like
get those, we
Yeah.
get paid.
Until there's an outage.
Yeah.
My house. You know, can I take it down? Yeah, I've had 2 of those this month.
Which is now people who say a tree is hanging over my house.
Yeah, there might be in the conservation, these newer lots or conservation easement, so they can't touch the tree, so
That's crazy.
Janine and I have to.
Are you
yeah,
fixing that?
No.
Because I was,
I don't have that.
I was talking to people that's exactly right. They thought that the, conservation easement and the stuff dies in it
That's,
and it's gonna lean towards
if
the.
it's a safety issue, then as long as the zoning officer or the engineer says you take it down.
Okay.
take it down.
it just-
So I have 2 of those. Yes.
Okay, the place behind you, they have a whole bunch of them dying.
Oh, there's a.
But it has to be a safe, it's easy to go look at. I get pictures, we get pictures all the time, so an officer gets them. I get more of them now.
Can't take it down if it's
Yeah,
dead.
because there's so many ash trees that aren't dead.
Yes, if it says if it's,
Not, if it's dead and not a safety issue, they're not allowed to take it down.
then we're not involved.
Oh, well, they say they called and people say you can't take them down, you're not allowed to do anything.
I mean, what Mark was just pointing to is why that was added, that it can be removed or dropped in place, but it does say with approval of the township.
Mhm.
It's changed. That came from the AC, the board, they wanted just for the zoning officer to go out and say yes.
It really is dead tree.
Yeah,
And maybe a safety hazard. Or safety hazard result. And then-
So the safety hazard might be that it will fall on the roadway or it could take down a power line.
It says and.
And.
It would just be or. I mean, it's just.
no,
silly.
that's a good point, that's a good catch. And or, it should be and or.
Yeah, yeah, because that was just frustrating for people.
Because some of them were, like, I just did one a couple weeks ago, Gene and I signed off on. They were just completely, once you clear them, they cleared and they go house. They got a couple of them are just trunk that's inside the conservation easement right on the head, but it was ready to go, so.
And Dan, you were saying that Pico will do it? like-
If it's over their lines, they do normal tree clearing.
Right, when they have asphalt.
Yeah, they'll do like entire streets, they'll just go down.
Because I know some.
We'll get notified when they come in.
The thing is the way they do that, they don't spend any time on this.
No,
Oh, no.
when they raise the poles from 25 to 40 feet, they just clear cut the entire sides of trees.
Sure did. I got that in true.
Because it's in there right away.
A friend took a picture of Pico on a power line once from a helicopter with hanging chainsaws.
Yeah.
That's not dangerous.
I mean, this thing had chainsaws all over it, and it's just buzzing by. I mean, show me the picture, this is up in Quakertown. I'm like, whoa.
So do we ask anything about the lighting plan? He's like.
What do you wanna know?
I was just curious, like what,
I wanna know what flux means.
10 by 10 foot.
What
point
section?
by point illuminance. This is on page 7. Section 22502-1H battery.
Okay.
South.
All right,
And
specifically,
extending 10 feet beyond, so down in the letter, actually it goes A, oh, then it goes to 2, okay, 2A. Letting information and calculations including
10 feet beyond the property line.
10 by 10, page 7. It's page 7 of the south.
Right here.
It says 10 by 10 foot, point by point illuminance grid extending 10 feet beyond the property lines.
Yeah, so that shows. That's saying what information we need on a lighting plan to make sure the neighbors aren't impacted. So there's a grid pattern of how many places you need to see the light intensity. It's like there's dots throughout the entire plan. And then we want it 10 feet beyond the property line. Because at your property line, it has to be a certain lighting intensity. You can't have, I don't know, what different townships and different zoning sections might be 0.2, might be 0, might be 0.5, so you have to go beyond it, 10 feet beyond the property line. And on your property, I have to see a grid of a spot every 10 feet of what the light intensity is. To verify safety for parking for the building entrances. That's why we have special lighting consultants, because it gets that technical.
But so this is for residential development.
It's for any development.
What's that?
It's for any
For any-
development where it applies. I mean, it's only where you propose lights. So if it's residential and there's a street light, I'll get, that's a little bit different. We'll get just a plot of each street light. Whereas if it's not residential, you get a plot of the whole parking lot and around the building. If you don't specify how much information, they might pick a spot here, and miss this corner, and that's where you live, and you complain about the light, so it's every 10 feet.
The these luminaires all have a catalog number and ideal style.
Yep. That's standard, so no one can fudge, and say, oh, the lights aren't that bright. They're not that intense, so they go by the standards.
So we shouldn't see developments that look like renderings anymore. Or the street looks like an aircraft is renderings.
That's a great, that's subjective.
Yeah, you're gonna have your house there. They still have things up?
Not at night. They don't have.
Oh, no, right.
They don't have that for.
No, they don't have lights for people. But the people next door could be. So illuminated. at night.
Oh, yeah,
The plane could land there.
yeah.
So I'm gonna ask my accessory dwelling unit question again, because I don't think it was clear the first time. Like, suppose I wanted to put, I don't have this situation, just so you know. But suppose I own 5 acres and my dad needed to move in with me and he wanted his own residence. And I'm gonna put in a little tiny house for him.
You're
Can't
gonna,
do it,
you're gonna connect it by a breezeway,
Mhm,
and then it's good.
and it's gonna be an in-laws.
mhm.
Really? But if it was
If you're
standalone,
not married, it can't be your dad, because then.
You can't have
Oh,
two
serious?
Can't have two primary on one property.
unless they're connected somewhere.
There you go.
So then it's not too
Yeah. Or you subdivide your property.
No, those-
That's right.
Those accessory dwelling units are becoming very popular. I keep seeing them, reading about them.
Tiny houses.
They can afford to fit themselves anyway.
So I'm just- They're,
Tell your neighbors no, they
I
can't.
told my daughter I'm moving with her.
their parents and grandmas are deceased. So they don't have that problem.
Another item that we went through that's pretty boring, but we were asked to go through all the parking standards, so you see a lot of, traffic engineers go through to make sure they meet current standards for parking. I think prior manager felt like there was a lot of over park, like see a parking, a lot of pavement. Or BAC felt the same way, so again, just like lighting standards, we went through the parking standards and said, okay, this is what the state PennDOT. So that was another big change. I think if anything, it helps be more flexible as far as not just having to see a parking for an office building, that have people work remotely and we can keep it more green.
Yeah, what about when that changes?
Correct. And that's why it has to be still held in reserve. And you're a little ahead of the game on that one anyway. We did reserve parking. They have to show them they can lay it out there, fully designed. They don't have to build it. They can green. So in case the next user comes in and needs that.
Yeah, that's good.
Yes. I will tell you a lot of the other big thing, what came from EAC was on stormwater, a little bit more innovative designs in parking areas. I think Janine and I, we probably argued a little bit on a few of them, but she liked about 90% of them. They're a little more costly for developers, but hey, it is what it is. It's a little bit more of it, water quality versus volume, where you're trying to get it in and have the plants absorb it, nutrients, all that. So instead of having everything curved, there's areas where you can provide a runoff area. You have it more down south where you have nice soils and stuff. The problem with around here is the soils. It's not the plants. It's
You gotta keep going.
yeah, you got the clay or built up. So we put caveats, that we still need to sign off on the design, but they recommend, and we have it up at the Madison apartments that were built over on Kellam. They actually were featured in one of the videos from Pennsylvania on the parking lot design, which I didn't even know. If you drive over there, just so everything sheet flows off, gets pre-treated before it goes into the stormwater system. So those were some other big changes. Providing more green area.
What's the thing more trees in those islands? That wasn't really discussed with it. And for parking and shade.
I really like the little comment about how mulch shall not be applied against the trunk.
Okay, duh.
And yeah, but every landscaper guarantees job security by killing the tree.
But not why it's under warranty.
That's right.
Yeah.
So you can't make it too thick until, and it says the trunk flare has to remain visible. And wow.
I also like the park and rec funds and fees in lieu of being spent in the area where the development is. I think I know something about that.
Yes, you're right. Yeah.
And I think that's great. That's really impactful. Nobody wants to talk about it.
I know Jeffrey Sue. There's,
Oh,
I think the rest of you guys know me pretty well. There's not anything earth shot. I mean, it's just nice to update all the standards, more of the technical. There isn't a lot in zoning that's, um, although people may have concerns about notifications and other things, and the scheme of things, there isn't any major changes to zoning districts or uses or anything like that.
Well, just reworded.
What?
A lot
It
of
is.
reworded.
Yeah, there's no boogeyman in there in the zoning somewhere. And Sauter was very technical, but a lot of the stuff did have to be updated just because of the year. I don't think the last rewrite was early 2000s. I think.
If you have any questions after tonight, just email them to Craig and myself and we'll get the answers for you.
It just seemed like it simplified a lot of things, like the different parking. I didn't put in all that parking aisle stuff.
We don't need to worry about it.
Did you get the part where they cancel all the bike lanes?
No, I didn't see that. What is the color temperature of a light? What is?
Color temperature.
Yes.
The warmth of it. So if it's yellow.
Why don't you get those
or-
light bulbs where you can set the,
It's
you can
called
set change the
daylight.
color?
Daylight,
Yes, but-
warm.
So there's an intensity of like 3,000 is what I think we have
Cool.
spec
That's
out.
what it says. 3,000K.
You tested me there, see, I knew
So
that.
is that like 3 million? 3,000K is 3 million.
No, I don't know. Yeah, the K's not,
You can go into Lowe's or Home Depot and see all the different.
but
It's very
Um,
confusing.
there's also, Margaret at the board meeting tested me because she questioned the distribution pattern of that. And there's 4 different types, so I did learn that instead of putting my landscape, my light guy. I did confirm with them, because she wanted it not to spill over the center line of the road. Where, they were rich about lighting, but when it's a street light, you have to light to the center of the road, but it was a good point. I mean, it made me think a little bit, but there's different types, and they want to go in like the sidewalk where your street lights have to light the entire travel lane.
Right.
So that's where there's a balance between, I understand about certain things, but we have to have a balance of safety along with it. So. And then the 3,000, the color is the warmth of how bright it is, how cool it is versus.
Yeah, it was, I think, 925,
Mhm.
3,000, 5,000. And the higher the number, the more white it is.
Yes,
Ice white.
Yeah, that's what they say. Yeah, what the
So the more glare.
Yeah, just like in your
Well, no,
face.
So it's a
Like 5,000 lumens, it's like,
Yeah.
on those LEDs, it's like white, bright white light.
So we stayed in the middle. That's what you've always had. So that really, just some places it was never specified, so they have to do whatever.
So does it apply to people's lamp posts
No.
at the end of their driveway? No?
This is only for new construction and.
Well, no, that's what I'm talking about, in new construction. When they put those lamp posts at the end of their driveway. And they can make a
Doesn't
runway
address
out of their property.
That's not a street light.
Yeah.
No, I didn't say it was, that's why
I'm
I'm
just saying,
asking.
it doesn't address.
Right. But, so,
It'll, in a new development,
It-
that he addressed those lights.
But you're not gonna have that leaning out.
We're not gonna, I can't see the township policing that.
you need to come over with my neighborhood.
I have one minded.
Oh, you probably do.
Emerald City.
It's like, totally.
There's always a person that gets carried away. There you go.
Like their landscape lighting.
Every house has the uplights,
Oh, yeah.
driveway
Well,
light.
that's,
It's not,
yes. You're talking
They're
about
everywhere.
a lamp post, so that's up to you.
Yeah, I'm talking about the whole deal, though.
Yeah.
Like the lamp posts at the end of the driveway are one thing, and then the 17 lights that light up the house are another thing.
I didn't understand they were standing out at the end of the driveway and the road looking at the house going, wow.
I guess they do. I pulled it up and I could say, wow, my house is so beautiful.
All right,
We good?
Should we make a motion? Do you want a motion on this?
Oh, it's just for feedback, right?
I think we have to make a motion.
You know what? I feel comfortable. That's a good question.
I think it's an ordinance.
Well, this might be the only time you see it, so I'd rather have you make a motion to approve the zoning in Saldo with the recommended changes that were discussed tonight.
Some of
Yeah, I was gonna say,
I'll second. favor? All opposed?
And like Dan said, if anything else comes up, just shoot Dan and myself an email or just send it to Dan, doesn't matter, and I'll get it to the right people. To get answers.
And after we get the additional comments back, if there's any significant changes, we'll let you know one way or another if there's changes or not and what the plan is going forward.
Sounds good, Dan. Couple things from me. We have to do a year in summary. Conroy,
I told you I would help you.
we only had 2 meetings, but still,
I just got the minutes, so, yeah.
so I mean, so I'm guessing this is no longer handled by staff.
Well, there is no step
There is
right
no
now,
staff?
but there will be by the time you have the next meeting. There may be. Well, no, probably in April.
I am doing it for the vets committee. You guys want to get together or recap the minutes of last year and just
The
put
2 meetings?
of our 2 meetings?
I told
No,
her, I'll help you.
Okay,
Yes.
I mean, I don't have a problem doing it. It's,
We will have staff for you for coming up.
all right.
All right. Somebody accepted the position today.
Yeah.
Now we just have to go through all the formalities.
And then, just so you guys know, the Veterans Committee, we're doing a fundraiser. It is our single May 9th from 7 to 10 at the shrine. You guys will pass this along. I will be cooking hot dogs and sauerkraut. Yep. And it's actually fun. We're supporting the Veterans Committee. And get a table with all your girlfriends and join us. This will be a lot of fun. BYO.
Are you doing cooking hot dogs?
I am. All right, public comments.
Oh, can I make a,
Yes.
I have a question regarding, last year, I'm gonna say, we did there was an open space survey that I completed. Is there a report?
The open space plan is being drafted as we speak. We should see the draft of it. The township should see the draft in probably mid-March.
How about the survey results?
The survey results are not public yet.
Are we public? We're public?
Yes, you are.
Okay. So,
They'll all be coming out shortly.
All right, public comments? Any business? You covered?
You're gonna have a meeting in March, or hopefully we have enough to, we have a couple projects coming in. One's a lot line change, next to Showalter's place, very road there, corner, someone wants to buy a little bit of land from him. And then I thought there was another one. And then you're also gonna have the board authorize us last night to prepare a grant, the DC grant for a North Branch Park improvements and Pinewood Trail project. So we need a board resolution, which we'll do in March, and then to the planning commission letter. I figured we'll just put it on your agenda since we're meeting, and you can bless that we're applying for a grant as part of the requirement to say planning commission supports the project.
That was the other thing in March. I hear there was something else that we talked about.
That's right.
I'm trying to remember before the
This
meeting what it was.
Branch is in reference to what specifically?
A grant.
A grant, a
It's
general grant for
DCE
DCE grant, it's for $250,000.
For the,
It could be for playground, for trails, and we have a large project that we're
Is there a match?
15%.
Small match, but it won't get us everything we want. So we'll probably go for a second grant from DCNR to try and get the rest of it. But
No.
No. this part.
right here.
Oh, this part, yeah.
So you'll have that, so we have a couple of things for your next meeting.
All right, wait for your turn. We got a second?
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye. All opposed? I need adjourned.
Can we,
Are we
So-
still on camera?
hold on,
Yeah, I got to figure out how to do this.
Just close the laptop.
Yeah.